guys. In group number 1, this is Kamara, the Black Dove Oracle, and welcome to your reading. This reading is interesting. Spirit woke me up this morning. When I woke up this morning, 5:55 was on the clock. And personally, I gotta tell you, I received a very powerful download for myself. And from there, the rest of the day has been quite interesting. Very deep conversations about just relationships, communication. And Spirit said, I need for you to do a reading on where the collective is no longer going to apologize. And this is so specific, right? But Spirit is saying there's an area in your life where either you are right now unapologetic or you will be. And Spirit is kind of letting them know through this message. And the them is everyone around you, everyone who has access to your energy. Spirit is saying what they're going to realize in this new era, new phase is a timeless reading, so I don't want to go too much on the whole New Year thing, but it is being filmed in January of 2025. But that is not here or there, because Spirit said whenever you tap into this reading, it's yours. So Spirit is saying that you are aligning quite strongly now to your purpose. You're aligning strongly to your mission right now. And what Spirit wants you to have some support with is to understand that in throughout these changes, because many of you have made some very distinct changes that you may even have people in opposition to the changes that you are creating. And what Spirit wants you to know is at no point in this particular journey does it need to even make sense because Spirit's like, I want you to use this. And then also, but also you don't need to apologize for it. And there's something there about for group number 1, Spirit is already kind of channeling out the gate here, that there are some people who really want to make you sorry for the changes that you are making. They feel as if you shouldn't have the audacity to make those changes. Is it the audacity? Audacity to make those changes. And so Spirit is like, this is very interesting energy that you may even feel like you've been in conflict with lately. Spirit to take both of those cards here. You may even be in some conflict lately with some of these energies, because I do think it's like background noise. For you, group number 1, it's almost like conversations that are running in the background. We have beneath the surface here. What's really driving you? True motives. Breaking free. And so Spirit is saying here, group number 1, that you're starting to feel as if you want to know with clarity who your supporters are and who your supporters are not. And it's during that time, because you see how there's this access you have to the depths of people, to what's really running underneath, what's running in the background. I keep hearing that as the motion. Like, what's really running in the background? We have King Tide here. King Tide is about plenty, prosperity, receiving the fullness of life. I think that's the energy you're in, group number 1. You have really taken seriously this time in terms of going after your goals, setting intentions. And it doesn't have to be this hardcore I'm hearing capitalist thing or anything like that. It's more of like, where do you want to be in your flow? King Tide reminds me of King of Cups kind of energy. Meaning, oh yeah, there's all these people around me with all these feelings about what I'm doing, but I sit on the throne of my own life, of my own future. And so group number one, there is an audacity here. But Spirit is saying, of course, this is the energy you're in right now. Like, if you're on the throne, and Spirit is channeling this right now for you, group number one, if you're on the throne, why are you apologizing for it? That the throne does not come. There is two ways Spirit is saying that you can receive the blessings of the throne. The throne could be given to you because of your inheritance, or the throne can be taken, can be received. And so it can be received or it could be taken, meaning for many of you in group number one, you've had to fight for the things that you have in your life. They were not handed to you. And Spirit is showing me for some of you, and it's kind of specific, you may look like someone who gets things handed to them. You may look like someone who has it all together. You may even look like someone who has some sort of privilege. But Spirit is saying that came, all of that they see that you sit upon as your throne, as your treasure, as your resources, that came because of your hard work. It came because of certain kinds of failures, certain kinds of success. Look at that abundance. Look at that strength and resilience. It came because you kept going, step by step. And we all know, step by step, it brings you further. Every day, you're further than you were yesterday. And I think that was the motion you had to be. Some of you might have some predominant air signs in your natal chart. If not, you are working with an air and water kind of energy right now. Not only are you feeling into where you want to go, you're quite literally calling it forward. You're manifesting it. In fact, the other day when I was doing a reading, Spirit was saying air energy right now on the earth it's very important for you to make offerings to the air right now, to the air element. Because the air has, as we see, when I'm filming this, there's fires happening in Los Angeles. As you see this, it's like air has the ability to create chaos. It has the ability to whip everyone into action. It's not only an intellectual element. It has force. So what you've been working with, group number one, is a certain kind of force. A force to be, I'm hearing from Spirit right now, to be reckoned with. Many of you are in the energy, regardless of your gender, of a very forceful feminine. The divine feminine also can have a force to it. It's that same force that it uses to push a baby out of a canal, out of a birth canal. It's the same force that that force that a woman's using, or a person with a womb's body uses to push that baby through, is the same force Spirit is pointing out here that you're using, group number one, to call in your manifestations. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of resilience. A lot of people, group number one, if they were faced with things that you had been through, they would have given up by now. But not you. You were like, okay, this force, I'm feeling it around me. How do I connect with it and use it for my own best benefit? How do I use it for my own power? So we're talking about the things that you're not going to apologize for. You're not going to apologize for the use of your power. You're not even going to apologize for the use of resources around you to wield that power. Many of you in group number 1 are not even apologizing for the actions you're taking lately. And people are really upset by that. Spirit is, well, the energy is very intense. It's like a, how dare you? Who are you? Who do you think you are? And Spirit's saying, well, let's tell them who you are, group number 1. Let's tell them who you are. Because for some reason, I'm hearing it's very interesting. The things, group number 1, that you're being accused of, such as maybe arrogance or overconfidence, it's the thing that actually the people who are trying to corral you that's their energy actually. They're here going, well, who do you think you are? You should come to me. You should be asking me, which is very, oh my gosh, Spirit is like, there's someone in your energy who feels like you should come to them. You should ask their permission for the things that you are trying to manifest and create. They feel like you've been disrespectful to their, how do I want to say? This is somebody who really feels like they are the leader. They are the one you should be getting permission from. This is so interesting. But you know what I get right away with this, with this world card? It's funny because I feel like you're not even aware of who this person is, which is doubly making them feel some kind of way. Like you have no clue who they are. You're not searching them out. You're not looking for anyone to ask. Instead, here you are on your little swing, dreaming your dreams, making your manifestations come true. And you're in all of the elements here. Because your life is balancing out in such a way that you're understanding, how do I utilize all of my resources for my best benefit, for my happiness, for my peace? And whoa, that's got someone really pissed off. I think what Spirit is showing me now, group number 1, with this Sultan energy, which is the Emperor, is that there are people around you who wanted you to apologize for being a leader. But the Emperor will never apologize for its position. The Empress and the Emperor are the highest ranking of the royalty, meaning the highest ranking of the leadership. They do not come to that position willy-nilly. In fact, kings and queens may inherited a position. They may have inherited that position, but an emperor or an empress does not inherit their position, not solely on their own. They may have come through the ranks of an inherited king or queen position, but when you get to the emperor, you're anointed. And Spirit is saying, and also appointed. And so when they are coming towards the Sultan energy, Emperor, there's something they've got to understand about the kind of actions you take. They're decisive and they're fiery and passionate. It was funny. I was talking to someone and they were like, I'm an Aries. Aries makes you think you are the leader of them, even if it's just for a brief second. But you most certainly will find out soon that this energy manages itself. Not only does it not ask for permission, it doesn't even consider it. And that's where you are. That is where you're unapologetic. Do we have another card in here, Spirit? Spirit's like, yeah. And so these are going to be very interesting times for you, because Spirit is saying here, your detractors, they feel as if they need strength behind them. They're trying to gather a small, what do we call that? What is that back in the day where, they gather a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of fiery wands and they're walking through town hell bent on getting you? Some of you have been feeling that energy in group number 1. There's some people who are kind of after you right now. They want to make you an example. They want to make you a case. You could be doing something very different, group number 1. And Spirit is saying it's been guiding you to do that very different, unique thing. And here these people come, because this card did come out in reverse. They are not going to be able to spar with you. Oh, yes, they're going to gather a crowd. They're going to do their very best, but they will not be able to spar with you. Do you see how precarious the situation is? Because they need all these energies to go up against the Sultan. They most certainly do. And the Sultan's here going, oh, I see these people are coming towards me. Very interesting. But you see how the Sultan is like not getting up. The Sultan is just sitting there with the sun blaring behind it, with 2 rams at its side. The number 4 is stability. The way that these people are coming is unstable. It's all over the place. They're chaotic. The Sultan is stable. Spirit is saying they're in for a very rude awakening. Your foes. They most certainly are. And these are people who have tried very hard in group number 1 in many ways to not look foolish their whole lives. They're about that kind of optic. The optic that I can't lose face kind of optic. I've worked this system so much that it is mine kind of system. These are people who are very weak. They're not very creative. They follow the system. They want the system to work. Even though they'll know it's not working, they will insist it is. These are very much conventional 3D types. If you work in some kind of field where you have the latitude to push the edges and boundaries of how you work, these people are very upset about that. For many of you in group number 1, this is career oriented. It is. You have some foes in the career field. But what Spirit is saying here, let's see, in no uncertain terms, is that you have nothing to worry about. You have Bishop Mason here. Your authority, because when I think of the Hierophant, it really is about a certain kind of authority that you have that's coming directly from God, directly from Spirit, whatever you call it. You may call it Creator. You have a direct relationship with Spirit. So what many of your foes find, and this could even be, and if you reflect back, group number one, what many of your foes find is that they cannot go up against the relationship that you have with God. They can't disrupt that. And that's something I think that is starting to help them understand, even in a fearful way, how their efforts will fail, how their intentions to spar with you will fail. Because Spirit and you've been at this crossroads before. I'm was born in the southern United States, and there's a lot of tales about the crossroads. And those crossroads are actually linked to indigenous African cosmology as well. When you're at the crossroads, this Eight of Swords, the crossroads, not only with it is some challenge, but there's also a choice. And for you, group number one, when you go to the crossroads, you meet God. But in the old Southern tales, there's also the aspect of people going to the crossroads to meet the devil. So this is very important, because Spirit said that when you came to this crossroads, which would have meant some kind of life challenge, some kind of really tower moment, instead of you walking off and going off with the devil, taking the devil's path, one of these, you waited for Spirit. And Spirit gave you directions, group number one. And here's what Spirit said to you. And it was something like this. You could choose to just do some low-level, low-vibrational thing, or you could stay on my path. I think you receive that invitation from your highest self and Spirit, because your highest self deals directly with Spirit. You are the Hierophant as well. So your highest self deals with Spirit. And Spirit was just like, well, if you wait for me, your blessings are here. They're not a short-term thing. So you've got to understand, many of your foes, they like the short term. They like to go with what feels good in the moment. But you're very patient, group number one. And that patience has served you, because it's created a foundation underneath you. A foundation that keeps you strong, even when the winds arrive. Even when the winds gust up, you're able to connect quite succinctly with the energies of that element, because you're rooted. You are absolutely rooted. You are not apologizing for your relationship with God. That is what Spirit has said. This is what Spirit is saying again. Eight of Wands. Yes, you've been through some really harrowing stuff, some of you. But you have not let it stop you. You have not let it put a dip in anything you're doing. And this has turned out to be something I think the final lesson of your foes will understand. You can't go up against someone like this. They've heard about people like you. These Hierophant types. They have. They've heard about people like you who have this relationship with God that you dare not go up against. But they have always wondered if it was a true story. It's almost like I'm hearing Shangri-La, it's almost like a fantasy. Oh, I've heard there's people like that, but I don't know. Most people don't have faith like that. But you do, group number 1. Strength card, all of these major arcanas that you have. You are a force to be reckoned with. A literal force to be reckoned with. And some of you seem so nonchalant. Yes, you are an emperor energy, but there's something quite youthful, quite like just a little light about you. And I think that's where your foes get tripped up. Because it looks like on the outside, they could just flick you and you would fall over. But that is not the case. Someone who's going up against you, they're going to experience a downfall in their career. And it is because they did not listen to spirit. Instead of taking an attitude of wanting, for some of you, you may have even tried to collaborate with some of these people and they denied you. They didn't want anything to do with what you're doing. But, of course, Spirit is blessing you. You and Spirit's plan continues on. And then they're going to see, oh, I do want to be involved with that. But guess what? 4 Cups, they're not coming anywhere near. They've already proven who they are. They've shown who they are. And this whole idea that they're the only ones who can give you options, 7 of Cups, or, that they are somehow in control of the wheel of life for you. It's, whoa. Spirit says there's one more card here. This is it. This is the reaction. Spirit is showing me you will emerge from behind this iron curtain, and they will see truly who your true identity is, and it will forever humble them. It will put them in their place. And yeah, for some of them, if they cling to their resentment, then to their anger, it will look like bitterness upon them. But yeah, I guess that's their lesson. I guess that's what they needed to know, group number 1. Final few cards. The Ten of Swords reality that they wanted for you will be the reality that they will experience themselves. Because this is what they decided to grow with their energy. And there's nothing you could do about it. Spirit saying most definitely it's not your problem or concern. But yeah, as we say that, Queen of Swords comes out. Yeah. It's not your problem or your concern. The Queen of Swords will be like, well, those are consequences of your actions. Better luck next time. And to know that 7 of Pentacles, again, your opportunities, they have come through the infusion of your energy and your divine work with Spirit. Last card. Look at that. King of Swords. So, this is an overall balance of who you are, feminine and masculine. Not only do you call in what it is that you need, and notice the air element. you also are receptive to it. Wow. That's all I got to say. Emperor, King, and Queen. This is all you. All of you. So, group number 1. Put a sword in the comments if this is your group. Because this was full of air. And just a reminder, Spirit is saying if you want to really strengthen this energy, make offerings to the air element. That could be going out, and if you run across a feather on the ground, pick it up, put it on your altar. This could mean if you need to go out in the air and just make beautiful offerings of grains that are safe for birds to eat or something. There's something where you're throwing something to the air in the earth element, but you're utilizing that air because you're calling in your power, and that power is fixed for you. I'm hearing from Spirit. Even though it's moving, it's a very fixed power in your life right now, especially for the upcoming 12 months. Wherever you hear this, Spirit is saying air is very much your energy. So group number 1, thank you so much for the honor of reading for you. I do hope that if you have not subscribed to my channel, that you will consider it if you like the way that I read. And yeah, I look forward to our future meetings. Take care. Hello, group number 2. This is Kamara, the Black Dove Oracle. Just clearing the energies a little bit. And we'll do that. So group number 2. This is your reading on where you're no longer apologizing. I heard no longer apologizing, but where you're not apologizing. How you are unapologetic. It's a timeless reading, and I want to thank you for the honor of reading for you. Welcome to my channel. I'm the Black Dove Oracle. In group number 2, we're going to hop right into it because Spirit gave me this title and said, this is it. I want to let people know where the collective is no longer apologizing for who they are. And for you, group number 2, it's something like that, right? Apologizing for who you are? But let's hop into it. Opening card. We have water codes, ancient wisdom, the intelligence within you. Group number 2, immediately Spirit is saying you are tapping into, not only lately, but maybe even your whole life, an ancient wisdom, an ancestral wisdom. You were born with it. And Spirit is saying throughout your life, maybe this has to do even with family, there have been people around you who have tried to contain this energy. They may have even told you it was dangerous. For some of you, and this is very specific, only take it where it resonates, because we are in a collective reading. Some of you were told that this power was even like a mental illness. It might have been something that people said, no, you don't think right. You don't see things right. You don't hear things right. There's something there. And this could have been definitely people in your family. I'm getting that energy strongly. People who have tried to make you feel inadequate for the experiences that you've had, for the way that you express your feelings, for how you understand the world. But Spirit is saying for you, group number 2, water codes, they are part of your DNA. They're born inside of you. Some of you are very powerful channels. Some of you are very powerful psychics. And Spirit is saying here that you've been made to feel, and I'm going to use this word, it's very ableist, but crazy. You've been feeling like, you've been made to feel so different, so out there. And Spirit's like, for hearing my voice, for connecting with my teachings, there's something there. Maybe some of you, I am getting like a strong channeling kind of energy. So maybe you do some kind of channeling. Maybe you are a tarot reader. Maybe you're a spiritualist of some sort. I use spiritualist because, we all have our own unique and beautiful gifts. But Spirit is saying here that you are right now, group number 2, you're creating something. You're planting something. You're literally growing something. And look how fertile the land is. Look how when you concentrate on growing your life in a particular way, you feel calm, you feel stable, your hands are in the earth. And this is very much like an earth energy. Some of you may be a Capricorn, you may be a Virgo, you may be a Taurus, or you don't have to be any of those signs, but those energies, the earth energies, you are working with them in a very powerful way right now, regardless of your sign or natal chart. You are working in earth energy right now. Group number 1 was air. You are earth here, group number 2. And Spirit is saying here that you don't need to apologize for the time you're giving yourself. This time has not only been valuable for you because you see what you're reaping as you're spending this time on, and very focused, but people want you to apologize for how you're spending your time. Very interesting. 9 of Swords in reverse. They want you to go back to a state of confusion. But I think you're starting to realize here, group number 2, the confusion came about when you were trying to live in their world. You're no longer confused because you realize, oh, I was trying to be the fish that was trying to climb a tree instead of going and swimming in the water where I belong. And Spirit is saying here, group number 2, that kind of shift in your perspective, your shift in your focus, it has opened up the world for you. It has made the world so much more friendly towards you. You know what I mean? Not the world of people, but just the earth. It's made you a collaborator. That's what I'm hearing. Like, you collaborate now with the earth energy. And it's keeping you sound. It's keeping you steady. When you are trying to be in other people's worlds and doing things the way they do it and following their rules, Spirit was just like, listen, this is not you. So you had to go and find yourself. You had to be curious about who this person is. And I think once you realize that, you had all these people around you wanting you to be back in dependent energy. Wanting you, look at that, because you're not here anymore with that 5 of coins in reverse. But this is where they wanted you to. They wanted you broke, relying on them. And you've got to wonder why, group number 2. Why is it that they preferred you here? Passionless, closed in. Why was that the requirement for you? But Spirit's saying, you're out of this energy. You're no longer wedded to it. You're not broke anymore. Some of you may have found a hobby that you actually could make money from. Something you're creating, something you're planting the seeds on. It's supporting you. And it's kind of interesting when people are in some kind of toxic caregiving, because I do believe that is some of your experience, group number 2. Wanting you to be dependent, codependent on them, wanting you to be enmeshed. I very much feel for group number 2 that this is family related. That you may come from a family system that has in many ways attempted to keep you a prisoner to its toxic habits and behaviors. You have 8 of Swords here. You had to decide, and this is interesting because this card came out in group number 1. Group number 1, Spirit, I believe, said that when group number 1 arrived at the crossroads, they waited for God. For you, group number 2, when you arrived at the crossroads, you had to throw off all of what was weighing you down. You had to set down all of those swords, and you had to stand still for a moment and connect with what's actually giving you inner peace. And from there, you no longer were a prisoner of these emotions. For some of you, this was a therapeutic journey. For others of you, this could have been a plant medicine journey. It could have been something cathartic that helped you to understand. Yeah, it was a big change. The Death card here. It was a huge change you had to go through, but I'm really getting that it was a mental shift that became a pinnacle shift too, because remember, you're in this earth energy now, and what they want you to apologize for is your ability to care for yourself, to be prosperous, to be abundant, and Spirit's like, we're not doing that. We're not apologizing for that. Some of you were around some people from the past who, I gotta tell you, group number 2, they weren't about shit. They're not about shit. They've been chasing a dollar forever. They feel some kind of way when you have successes. Many of these people are in your family. And so you've had to really, in this particular card, I'm going to point it out. Spirit is saying you've had to be very careful in this, and either you need to hear this now or you've been doing this. You had to be very careful who you're taking things from, who you're receiving things from. Someone out there wants to lock you down with debt. And I mean the kind of debt meaning they want you to owe them. Or they're trying to come up with some kind of story about you owing them. But your seeds were not purchased by them. Spirit's like, I purchased those seeds. I gave you those seeds. Not your family. I gave those seeds to you. You're going to plant them and you're going to reap. And so that this could be like for you, group number 2, the reason why Spirit wanted this reading, because Spirit's like, no, those seeds were purchased by me. I gave them to you to do the work you need to do. I didn't give you those seeds to do the work other people need to do for themselves. This is family. This came out in reverse, I'm going to tell you. 10 of Cups. This is family. Spirit is saying for some of you in group number 2, not only are you not apologizing for the success that you're reaping, you're not going to apologize and give them your treasures. It's actually coming as a directive. Okay? Spirit is like, there's a certain kind of intensity I feel from Spirit around this, because somebody's trying to take advantage of you. They want you to apologize for what you have, what you're creating, and they want you to give them what you've created. Spirit says to stay strong. Because a few of you in group number 2, you haven't quite finished the test. But it's coming. Seven of Cups. It's coming in a few different situations with these people. And in each case, Spirit wants you to choose yourself, group number 2. And in each case, Spirit wants you to understand that these people have never, ever, 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 ever had power over you. Your ancestors are coming in because they're going to send you support. They're showing it to me right now with this court card with the Lovers. They're bringing you support. They're bringing you someone who's going to bring your wing person. You know, that wing person that's going to be like, oh, okay, you're doing these beautiful things. I want to help you. Your wing person. I don't know why Spirit just loves that little kitty next to you. They're bringing you a wing person because Spirit is saying that they just want you to have a little reinforcement here. And because when you go up against these types, 7 of Knives here, they're going to try to confuse you. They're going to try to take what you have. They really are. I'm seeing someone, maybe you got a new apartment, maybe you got a new house. Congratulations. But someone's going to try to move in with you. No. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. And they're going to play it buttery sweet. Oh, well, you know, I'm retired now. I'm on a fixed income. Maybe I can just come live with you. Or, you know, but when they were working, they didn't want anything to do with you. They've never supported you monetarily. And it's not a tit for tat thing. Spirit is just saying you need around you the kind of energies that are supportive, that are truly authentically love you. Some of us, we don't have family. We have relatives. There's a difference. And Aunt Carolyn is here to tell you, you're on top of the wheel. The wheel is rising for you. People are seeing what you're doing. You're getting a lot of, some of you in group number 2, you're getting attention with the things that you're doing. And so Spirit is saying here, hey, you know, I don't know why I'm getting reminded of this, the little red hen. You know that little childhood fairy tale? Is it a fairy tale or what is it called? What are those called? It's a childhood story. The Little Red Hen. If you've never heard of it, go read it. It's very short. But it's that situation. When you were trying to build it, when you were trying to get their support, they were nowhere to be found. They wanted you back in this broke-ass, chaotic energy. But once you got out of it, because you had to connect with what truly and internally lives inside of you, you had to let that live inside of you. You had to let that DNA awakening happen for you, group number 2. And so when you did that, you started to understand, oh, I've got to cultivate this. I've got to cultivate this garden. And when you said that, Spirit dropped these bags of seeds right in front of you and said, here's the land. Some of you got an inheritance of land, I'm hearing, or a garden plot, something. And Spirit's like, here's the seeds. Go do your thing. And it's like, oh my goodness, I used to watch this guy. I don't know their pronouns, so I'll just say I used to watch this person on Instagram, and they were one of the first plant people. You know what I mean? Like, they would talk about plants and potted plants, and they would share their herbal concoctions. I got to go find that account again. And it was just like a beautiful account. And then I think the last time I was seeing their stuff, they had a little baby. I forgot what their name was. But anyway, all that to say, it's something like that. You just took a passion, something that you love doing, something that's helping you grow and stabilize and be all of you who you are. And it's you're living now. How beautiful. And Spirit says, don't throw your pearls before swine. And you won't, because you are not apologizing for it. The Emperor is here. The Emperor came out around the same time in group number 1. This whole reading, I'm beginning to understand, is Spirit affirming your leadership. In group number 2, here you are. Right there. This is your leadership. You're connected to it. You willed it. It's connected to something. It's connected to something. The Spirit says we have a few more cards coming out of this deck. It's connected to something, but there's that Emperor again. You're in this leadership. Look at that. And it's no longer being hidden. So here's a little something that Spirit is saying to you, group number 2. It knows that you have tried to be subtle with your successes. You may have even been trying to be subtle with these seeds you got. Maybe you wanted. Did you win the lottery? What would you? How did Spirit give you these seeds? Because there's something here about you not being entirely comfortable with showing people this Emperor energy of yours, your success. With this moon in reverse, Spirit is saying, yeah, we are going to open the door more on your visibility. The Emperor is rarely hidden. The Emperor is rarely behind closed doors. If this was a Hermit card here, we would talk about that. But the moon is in reverse, group number 2. So Spirit is kind of giving you a gentle warning. It is going to up your popularity. It's going to put your business out on the street when it comes to how successful you are. And Spirit wants you to be unapologetic about it. Yes, I did that shit. And I'll do it again. I will do it again. Given the opportunity, I will do it again. Powerful. Very powerful. Look at that. Spirit tells no lies. Spirit tells no lies. Okay? And Spirit says, I don't want you to be shocked. I don't want you to be shocked, but you're about to be on stage, group number 2. And it's okay. It's okay. Yes, they are going to feel some kind of way. But this is why you're drawn to group number 2. This is why you've been drawn to this reading, because Spirit said it's going to happen. And they're just going to have to go and cry in a corner somewhere. They're just going to have to lick their wounds, because you are not returning to any of this. You are not returning to that. And while they spent a lot of time trying to keep you in these energies, like I said, 5 of coins in reverse, 9 of swords is reversed. Spirit is saying, this is where they wanted you. This is where they wanted to spend their investment in keeping you here. What you did was reawaken, and you received with I'm sure, humble gratitude, the seeds of Spirit. And Spirit said, plant. And you did. You followed your orders. And now you are, most certainly, group number 2, reaping. Spirit said to end it there. Okay? So group number 2, here's what I am going to say. You've got to put the sun in the comments, because this is the final outcome. The sun is the final outcome. And there you are. So if this has been your reading, thank you so much for the honor of reading this energy. I mean, I really feel inspired by all of this. group 1 and 2, and we're getting ready to go to 3. But, this is incredible. So definitely, if you wish, group number 2, please tell your story. If you were in group number 1, please tell your story too. But group number 2, I would love to hear your story. I would love to know what you're creating, and if you have a link to your shop, or if you got something like that, like a website or something, please put it in the comments. Like, oh my God, it's gonna become popular, and I'll be like, oh my God, I hope group number 2 heard this reading, because they're blowing the F up. You're gonna blow up, and this is come through your own tenacity. Your own tenacity. You believed in yourself, and that's something rarely, unfortunately, that people do. So group number 2, if you haven't subscribed yet and you like the way that I read, please consider subscribing. I love you all so much, and I'm so encouraged by this. And we will talk soon in another reading. Take care. Hello, group number 3. This is Kamara, the Black Dove Oracle. We're clearing the energies for your reading. Welcome, and thank you so much for the opportunity to read for you. It's a little bit of noise in the background, so I hope you all can hear. Group number 3, wow. I gotta tell you, group 1 and 2. Wow. Let's get to you. I woke up this morning, and on my clock was 555. And I said, wow, this is a powerful day. And then in my meditations personally, I got a very powerful message. And I was like, whoa. And since then, the day has just been like, whoa. So Spirit was like, I need you to do this reading. And I was like, okay, what reading is it? It's like where you are no longer apologizing. Where you're no longer apologizing. And I was like, okay, that's it. And Spirit was like, yeah, you, everyone that's in my collective, of the collective of Spirit, which is everybody, no longer apologizing, unapologetic. So this is this reading because Spirit said you are probably already in this energy group number 3, but you may need the wording. You may need the you may need the inspiration to know that where you are right now, and I'm getting this as a channeled message now for group number 3, is where you are right now. You do not need to apologize for being there. Especially your blessings. Spirit is saying, hell no, I gave that to you and you deserve it. We have gentle force. It says consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. Okay, group number 3. You know, what you're not apologizing for anymore is the time that it's taken. Because I think your wisdom, group number 3, is about understanding the long game. It's about understanding that the things that are worth achieving in this life, they take time. Sometimes they really do take time. But what Spirit wants to point out here for you, group number 3, is that you have a lot of people around you who are just seeing the results. They don't know about what it took to get there. So their jealousy, their envy, their whatever they're talking about or whatever they're wanting from you, it's rooted in them seeing the outcome and not the work. But Spirit says that for you in group number 3, you work in silence. So it's not like you're out here broadcasting your methods. And Spirit wants me to look at this card one more time. Do you see how how you are like in some kind of magical communion here. In group number 3, you understand how to wield your magic now. It may have taken you a little time. And it may have even come, Spirit is saying, for some of you, with a few bumps, bumps in the road. I think you've always had this gift, whatever gift you're working with. You've always had it. We're in a collective reading, so please take what resonates. Whatever gift that you had, it wasn't something that you were instantly good at. You had to practice. You had to fall on your behind a couple of times. But when you got into the rhythm, group number 3, it was like, oh, I'm riding this bike. Oh, I'm doing this thing. Oh, when I said that, it happened the next day. Like you had to do that whole, like when you are that kid, you're riding with the training wheels and Spirit had you on the training wheels and Spirit's right behind you. Go group number 3, go group number 3. And sometimes you fall and you'd be like, oh, Spirit, I fell and blah, 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 blah. And then Spirit be like, get up, group number 3. And you get up, you get back on your bike. And one day Spirit said, group number 3, I'm going to take these training wheels off. And you're like, no, Spirit, don't do it. I'll fall. And Spirit's like, do you trust me? In group number 3, I think you said yes. And when those training wheels came off, Spirit didn't let you know. Like it's that memory, right? Your caregiver, your parent was holding on to the seat while you're slowly, you're pedaling, and then you're so into the pedal. You're so into that motion that before you know it, they had let go. They're 2 blocks back. And you have been riding the whole time by yourself. Group number 3, that was your experience. That is your experience. And Spirit saying, yay, like there's something there, group number 3. This life of yours. You can't apologize for it because you did the work. I mean, really, literally, you listened. You got up when you fell. Some of you had a bit of a fall. Was it addiction? Was it substance? Was it financial? For some of you, it was depression. And but here's what you did. You got up. And in some cases you had to lay down. In some cases you did have to rest. In some cases you had to do a dead stop. This is very specific. It's not for everyone. Someone grew ill and you had to dead stop because the stresses in your life, the overwhelm, it was just too much on your nervous system, and you had to rest. You had to take refuge. And I think for some of you during this time, you had people criticizing you for needing to restore yourself. But there was nothing you could do but that. Your health might have been totally, you're like I said, I feel like many of you in this group, your nervous system was just an overwhelm. Like there was nothing else you could do but get sicker. You know what I mean? And Spirit is saying, like, you had to recharge yourself. You had to tap into your resources. And in doing that, some people made it feel like you weren't productive. They're asking you, well, did you go and look for a job today? Or did you go and do this today? Like they really were trying to push you into being this quote unquote productive citizen. But, Spirit was saying, your ass needs to rest. And I think you did. And look, look what that did for you. You had the King of Wands here. What it did was it put you on your throne. it connected you with your passion. It's kind of interesting because all three groups, your energy is very masculine right now, regardless of gender. Your energy is masculine right now because you are going out and you're getting the things you deserve. And that's what happened. See, the restoration didn't make you lazy. It didn't make you unproductive. It put you on your throne. For some of you, your ass got fine too. Okay? I mean, it restored your skin, maybe. You know, you got up and got a haircut or something. I don't know what you did, group number 3, but you got fine. That's coming from somewhere. You got fine. People are like, oh, have you seen group number 3 lately? They looking kind of good. So you got attractive even. But I don't think it was like I went and got my haircut and new shoes. It was more of like this internal energy inside of you. Do you see how you're getting restored here? It was like that energy, it kind of seeped through. There's something about the King of Swords, not the King of Swords, the King of Wands, sorry, and the Queen of Wands. These are the fine folks. But it's not necessarily, I mean, sometimes it is conventional good looks, but really it's about their energy. It's about their passion and their fire. And this is you, group number 3. Some of you may most definitely will either you're working with the element of fire, which is interesting because group number 1 was air, group number 2 was earth, and for you, group number 3, it's fire. And so that fire, it's like, it's infusing you. It's attracting people to you. Some people want you to apologize for your attractiveness right now, group number 3. Okay? You put a mirror in the comments. I'm going to tell you right now, put a mirror in the comments. Because this is, Spirit is saying, this is where a lot of people want you to apologize for just how freaking fine you are right now. And how you're drawing that energy in. Some of y'all went from like a wallflower to the fire. Okay? And Spirit said that is okay. Some of you are really reconnecting with your actuality. And Spirit is saying that's good. Some of you may be having some really good exy time right now. And you needed that. You need to rejuvenate those internal organs. Spirit did say that. You need to rejuvenate some of those internal organs, get them working. Spirit said it's true. Look at, we got the Ace of Swords. Spirit said, no, you need that little exy. You need that little exy time. Okay? And Spirit said, let it get some O's going. You know what I mean? Like, get yourself in there, And Spirit has been waking up your body, waking up your mind, body, spirit state. And Spirit saying, why are you apologizing for that? If you walking down the street and people are like, who the heck are you? Lean into it. Lean into it. You got all kinds of people coming at you. Look at this. Young folks. Some of y'all got some young folks coming towards you. They because they can smell it on you. The energy, the vitality, the passion. Okay? If this isn't your actual energy, but it is something that's greeting people. It's greeting them because you are the King of Wands right now, but you're in a kind of Knight of Swords energy. So people find you very attractive. They like your mind. They like that you're not only good looking but you're smart, and they're like, wow, who's this? You are quite an ideal for many people, and you do have some folks around you who want you to apologize for that because they feel like you shouldn't be so high on yourself. It's really the energy for group number 3 in terms of the people who want you to apologize. It's so like petty and jealous and and Spirit is saying with the death card. Is this a death card? I think it is. You guys, I get so lazy with remembering these numbers sometimes. Spirit is saying, there's so many people who, it is the death card. There's so many people who don't want you to change. I mean, that's kind of what group number 2 had. There's a lot of people who don't want you to change. I kind of feel in group number 3 that you all are those people that have always been very good looking, but people have tried to downplay your looks. They've tried to make it seem as if you're not attractive. They've tried to, make excuses for why people come towards you. Oh, they just want your money, or, all this and that. And, here's what I want to say. Spirit is letting you know with this hangman that good things do come to those who wait. You didn't have to run out the gate and prove yourself to any of these people. I think you did, though, have to reconnect with what would restore you. I'm going to put this one down. You did have to reconnect with what would restore you. But it came with some time. Remember, the gentle force. A lot of your life, group number 3, it's been about the illusion of time. Am I taking too long? Why hasn't this happened for me yet? Things like that. And Spirit's like, your patience is your reward. And so some of you had to just outgrow some things. I don't know why. Spirit's been giving me all these little fairy tales. Are they fairy tales? I feel like I'm using the wrong word to describe these. Are these childhood stories? The swan. What's that story about the swan? Like the swan it was born a particular way. I don't even know if this is a really socially correct one even. Because the swan was born a certain way and was perceived as ugly. But then one day it becomes this beautiful, magnificent swan. Some of that feels a little but the general idea of the story is that you may have been perceived as someone who was just kind of a quote-unquote plain Jane, and all of this is just to say that people had a certain perception around you, group number 3, and then all of a sudden you're just this diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. And look at that. It's like a wish fulfillment, this 9 of Cups. It comes when we accept ourselves. And Spirit is saying that is what you are not apologizing for. The beauty of who you are. And you could look anyway, but your beauty shines through. You are quite the wish fulfillment for quite a few people. Some of you went through a really horrible kind of relationship, one that tried to bring you down. It could have been kind of narcissistic, and Spirit is saying you had to recover from that, because this person might have really tried to play a lot of mind games with you and tell you weren't beautiful, spend all your money, whatever they were doing. And Spirit is saying you had to recover from that. You had to reclaim who you were. And here you are. These pentacles are coming towards you too, because you are understanding. I like this particular Knight of Pentacles because the figure learned something about themselves. What stars and planets were up in the sky when they were born? And by connecting with this, they're connecting with their sense of self-worth. And that's been you, group number 3. For many of you in group number 3, this is about your appearance, your outer appearance, but the outer appearance being fed by the energy of spirit. So it's not entirely aesthetic, but there is, the way that it's coming forward is to say, you're so noticeable in this new energy of yours. And spirit is saying here, it's boosted your confidence. It's really shown you who you are. And this attractiveness, let's just say it does speak a little bit to your worth. Not in your entire worth, but it does speak to what people value. And they value many things in you, group number 3. But they most definitely find you attractive. Last few cards here. Yeah. There's a certain justice that has been brought to your life. If you were on some kind of journey to maybe lose weight or gain weight, maybe you just wanted to work out or tone up, or I'm seeing someone who actually got into yoga in a big way. Like you're very good at it. You know what I mean? Like whatever you did to kind of transform yourself, because there is this transformation. It could be the thing that is bringing more attention your way, and it's balanced the scales, because maybe there's some people around you who really wanted you to believe you weren't good looking, who really wanted you to believe there's something flawed about you because maybe you had, I don't know, some love handles, I don't know, but there's a lot of fat phobia out there. There's a lot of like colorism out there. There's a lot. And Spirit is saying, do not apologize for anything anymore. Because you are a beautiful, unique, sacred creature of God. I don't know why I heard it as a creature, but I did. God's like, you're my creature. You're beautiful. You're stunning. And it has nothing to do with what society wants to dictate you need to look like or who you need to be. Last few cards. Knight of Swords again. Look at that. Again, there's an energy moving in quickly towards you. There's a few. But this energy, this Knight of Swords, it's coming in quick. It wants to impress you. It wants to get your attention. Some of you are going to be with somebody who's a little bit younger than you. But they like your energy. They're not going to stop until you tell them what they want to hear. They're not. You have 9 of Wands here. I think here, too, because it kind of came out a little sideways, I would say to you here, the group number 3, Spirit is kind of just cautioning you to be okay with leaving the old story behind. This is you now. And you don't need to apologize for not telling that old story. That old story is in the past. And for some of you, that's where it needs to be. It's long gone, buried, it's dead. Because who you are now is who you are. So there's something there for someone that needed to hear that you don't have to be wedded to the past or explain why something is. I mean, this is just you now. This is your energy, the full, like you're in a new life, and that's okay to be in that new life. Are things completely done for you? The world is in reverse? I don't think so. I think there's more to come. And so Spirit is saying why you would never apologize now, and you definitely don't need to apologize later, but there's more to come. Spirit is saying, have fun. Not everyone you're going to meet is your person. And it's okay. Because you don't need to just rush into something and lock yourself down. Spirit wants you to have fun. Spirit wants you, I keep hearing Spirit wants you to have some exy time, okay? So, of course, everything's up to you, but I'm just saying, Spirit wants you to have fun. Yeah, Spirit is saying, I don't think this is a dating time. It's not a time to like, what do you do? Hand fasting. It's not that. It's not that time. Not yet. Because Spirit just wants you to be in the energy of just yourself now. There's a certain kind of freedom you're experiencing, group number 3, that Spirit really likes on you. It's grounding you. It's illuminating you. It most certainly is bringing you some prosperity in many ways. And Spirit's just like, enjoy. Maybe one or two, this is very specific, maybe one or two of you released yourself from some kind of like religious stronghold. You know what I mean? That didn't allow you to express in a physically attractive way. But you're released that. You've let it go. Spirit is saying there's one more card here for you. Okay. What about this deck, Spirit? Closing card. Of course. You see that? Spirit wants me to point it out. You took off this old you. Maybe it was cute. Maybe it was what people expected. And now you're wearing the appropriate thing for the journey, which is your true self. And you're looking out over the water. Some of you are getting ready to travel. Some of you are getting ready to take some kind of journey. If it isn't travel, you're taking some kind of journey. It might even be an emotional journey. But whatever you're doing, you've hung up that old self. And now you're in the boat. You're surveying the distance from your vehicle, because this is your vehicle. It's coming for you. It's arrived. Your ship has come in. For some of you, this is quite literally some pentacles have come in for you. But you're getting ready to go out and meet it, because your ship has come in. And you realize this old dress was just a hindrance the whole time. It served its purpose, Spirit said, for the time. But now you've got moves to make, things to do. And we most certainly are not apologizing for any of it. So, if you can, I know I told you guys to put a mirror in, but if you watch to the very end, maybe you could put a boat, find some kind of boat, because your ship has come in. Your ship has arrived. And I think you all in this group are feeling that. So, that's what I have for you, group number 3. Amazing. Absolutely amazing, this whole entire reading. If you've watched it from group 1 to 3, wow. I'm energized. I'm inspired. If you haven't subscribed and you like the way that I read, please consider not only give me a thumbs up for this reading, but also subscribing. If you click the bell, you get notified when I upload new readings. You all, my darlings. What a true honor to read for this collective. I have a small channel, but I really tap into the people who connect with this channel, with these readings. I want to say again, congratulations to Cindy, because I did give them the 6-month reading. And if you all want to get personal readings from me, I have a website. And you can get all of that information in the description box below. If you have ideas for future readings, please feel free to put those in the comments. And my honeys, I really do hope that you make this a good one for yourself. And please, no apologizing. Okay, my honeys, take care.